Hey guys, Joe here at ECRM's Everyday and Holiday Cosmetics, Fragrance, and Bath session in Chicago. And I'm here with Jack Savdie from Global Beauty Care. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So, now Jack is a regular here at our sessions and a veteran, definitely a veteran and a multiple Buyer's Choice Award winner. But what we're going to talk about today is some recommendations on what to do prepping for one of our meetings, during the meeting, and then follow up, because he's had a lot of success and a lot of you will benefit from some of his recommendations. So, so just to start, you just registered for one of our programs, right? How do you handle your prep and what do you recommend?
Sure. So first, prepping for the room. Grab the camera. Let's take a
Sure.
walk, baby. So we like to design the room where we leave the windows open. Sunlight is key, as many of these rooms, as you could tell, don't have that many light bulbs. So what we do is we first clear the furniture, and since we've been doing the show for so many years, we know exactly where everything is going to go. So what we do to prep is underneath these, we call them Gershels. What they are is a cardboard display. We actually take these blank displays in our showroom in New York, lay them out exactly as the room is going to be, and we place the products how we want it displayed at the show. So we'll display it, we'll play it around, we'll see what looks best, take pictures once it's done, box it up, ship it to ECRM. Once we get here, it's very easy for us. We basically take everything out of the box, build these displays, and we know exactly where every single product is going to go. We also added, thanks to Eric, my partner here, these LED lights. Lights are essential for ECRM because you never know what the lighting is going to be in some of these hotels. So you'd be surprised at how many buyers actually walk in and say, wow, it's so bright in here. I love it. Lighting is key, and always keep the window clear of anything. What we also like to do is we like to set up product on both ends of the room. So when a buyer is sitting here, she can easily look this way, she sees product, look that way, she sees product. What we also like to do is display the product that we'd like to push as closest to the buyer as possible. So this line right here, which is our new glacier line, is what we're pushing. We display it right next to the buyer.
Gotcha. So that's a background on how he gets his room ready. So again, he mentioned everything is set up in the office beforehand. They know exactly where everything's going to be, and now it's set up here. So now, what about preparing for the meetings themselves?
Great question. So as a salesman, cardinal rule, I like to store shop every single buyer that we're seeing before I actually meet with them. This way I know exactly what their floors look like, if they have any gray spots that need to be filled that we could possibly fill for them. So very important to do that. If you can't get to a retailer for whatever reason, their stores are in Wisconsin, you're in New York, whatever it is, what we like to do is go on Google, we'll put in the retailer's name, search images, and try to see from Google. I know it sounds crazy, but believe it or not,
that's a good idea. I like that, yeah.
And you can actually see what is on the buyer's floor.
So it's not just a sense of like checking out their website. Their website, you're not going to see the shelves.
Definitely not.
You need to get to images of you want to see what's on the shelves in your category, one way or another.
Exactly.
Okay.
Besides for doing our research on the actual retailer, we like to do the research on the buyer as well. This way, for example, you put a buyer's name in LinkedIn and you see they worked for a previous company that somebody who worked there. It's an icebreaker. Oh, I know you used to work here. Do you know so-and-so? Oh, of course, I know him.
Gotcha. Or maybe you've done some good work with that retailer already. That's credibility for you in your conversation with them. Okay, great. I'm a big LinkedIn fan too, so
we all are.
Yes,
you have to be that.
Definitely. All right. So, and then what about the conversations that you're gonna have? Do you prep for those, or
of course, always. So depending on the retailer, a lot of the customers that we see, we know them and we're doing business with them already. So a lot of it is anything that we're waiting answers on for, anything that we want to do going forward. For the new guys, though, that's where it gets a little difficult. So always try to be as real as possible in these meetings. Be sincere, be open, be you.
When you're prepping for the conversations themselves, is there a typical flow to the conversations that you have with the buyers?
There is. We like to start off small talk.
Okay.
This way, the buyer gets a little comfortable. Who are you? Where are you coming from? Where'd you get in? How was your flight? And then we get straight to the meeting. We also try to make them feel comfortable. So what we do is we have candy
Okay.
We have candy, we have Swedish fish, we have mints, we have everything.
Something for everybody.
Something
Yeah.
for everybody.
Okay.
And you know, we say, oh, take, you like this, oh, I love this.
Right.
And you know, it leads, and then slowly, we get into business.
So the small talk can't take too much time, right? So it's
Definitely
just
not.
quick because you want to get the most out of your
It's
minutes.
a quick
but
3
yeah.
minutes, I would say.
Good, good.
And then also dealing with a new retailer that you know nothing about. It's very important for a salesman to ask the right questions. One of the first questions we ask a buyer is, what are your terms? Who pays for freight?
Okay.
How do you pay? These questions are important because most of the time a buyer will ask, how much is this? And your cost depends on all their terms that are involved.
Gotcha. And
So
notice
we'd like
that
to
these
get
are
that out of the way from the
active
beginning.
questions too. It's not like one things that buyers do not like hearing is, tell me about your company, because you should already know that going in.
Yeah.
So he's
Don't
noticed-
ever do that.
Yeah, he's getting right into the questions that are moving the conversation forward in a way that
Of course.
of doing business.
And if you do have time to store shop or do the research, it's great that you say, oh, I know you're carrying this brand. I hope it's performing for you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't BS, but of course, you know, be as sincere as possible and show that you care even about your competition and you want them to be successful no matter who they carry on there.
That's a great point. You never diss the competition.
Never.
Because when you do that, you're actually dissing the retailer, the buyer themselves, because the buyer made that decision to put that competitive. So you're essentially saying they made a bad decision. So you never do
Exactly.
that. But the other point that you addressed that's important is you're acknowledging that you've paid attention. You've actually put in the work and did the research, and buyers love that in the meeting.
Right. And they notice.
Yeah. So then there's a back, and then from there it becomes a back and forth.
Pretty much.
Okay, and then what about though? You do have, obviously, they have a lot of products.
Yes.
So you are not going to go over all of them. You
Of
have
course
key
not.
ones.
We actually also, going back to the beginning, prepping wise, we have about 600 SKUs in the line. We, of course, don't want to overwhelm a buyer, and
Yeah.
the buyer could possibly view 600 items in 20 minutes. What we do is we bring the newest and the best of the best. Items that we know are performing, we display. Items we know that are not doing so well, we don't bring it with us. Again, going back to being sincere, I have buyers where if they pick up an item they want to order and I know that it's not the best item, I'd say, put that down, take that guy. You'll have more success with that. So
Okay, and they appreciate that because
course.
you're looking out for them. Again, looking out for their interests. So.
always about that. It's not
Cool.
about us.
And then what about wrapping up the meeting? Is there something you close with, or how do you
Sure.
set it up for the follow-up?
So we always close with, how would you like us to follow up with you and when? Of course, we could quickly review. So you wanted this, this, and this. We'll email you this. We'll send the samples of this. Anything else you need from us. We try to make it that we do the work for them. We don't want them to do the work. We know they're busy already.
Yeah.
We have buyers where they'll actually, believe it or not, they'll send us a blank PO. Jack, fill in your best SKUs that you have in stock. Send it back to me. I'll fill in quantities and send it back to you. And doesn't happen often, but we have buyers like that they trust us that we're going to give them the best of the best. So,
And that doesn't happen overnight. It takes a while to build up that trust.
oh yes.
But and that's great. And that leads into our next part about the follow-up, which is actually you've already done it because, like you said, at the end of the meeting, you end the meeting finding out what, how, and when to follow up. And then basically the follow-up, I'm guessing, is just doing exactly that, what they
Exactly.
want, right?
Exactly. One thing that's very important to do is during the meeting, take as many notes as possible. Years ago when we first started, you'd be going back and forth with the buyer. You wouldn't even have time to take notes. I think it's very important for someone new coming to the show to always have two people. Always. One person does the schmoozing, the other one's taking the notes.
Okay. Yeah, good idea. That's a really good idea, especially if you can use the Connect app.
Oh yes.
And get
Very
everything
helpful,
in.
by the way.
Excellent.
Very,
Well, we're glad that you use it because some people will do handwritten notes because they're by themselves and they can't type while they're looking. But no, I think it's a great idea. You have two people, one person's entering in the notes. And the value of using the Connect app is the fact that you can track it year over year, right? So you can go in there and see what your conversations
Of
were in
course,
the
I could
past.
go back if we saw a buyer and unfortunately it didn't lead to anything, and this is 2 years ago. I could go back into the app, see my notes that I took from that appointment 2 years ago, and this way I know where do we start from now?
And so you can also use your notes back in the prep side too.
Right.
As you're prepping,
Oh, yes.
in addition to all the other work, look in your notes and connect and see what your conversations were
Of
before.
course, a great example would be the men's line. Buyer was interested in the men's line, but she said, we're not there yet. Okay, it's a year later. You're ready? Look how much we have to offer you. Look how pretty the packaging. Look how quality is. And it works.
Excellent. See, so to follow up, and you don't want to do more than you've already agreed on, right? If you agreed that like we want you to send me samples of X, Y, and Z, you don't send A, B, and C too.
Definitely
You give them
not.
what they want. Right?
Oh yes, we like to stay lean and mean.
Good. And what if okay, a buyer has agreed on follow up. They said we want X, Y, Z. Send it within 2 weeks, and then we'll get back to you within 2 weeks after that. You do that, and then they don't get back to you. How do you approach that?
It's a great question. It happens sometimes,
Yeah.
unfortunately. You have to be consistent. You have to be, keep following up. Don't be a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
But an email once a week is not going to kill a buyer.
Yeah.
So just keep emailing. And we've had some accounts where buyers, unfortunately, little tough. We understand they're busy, and it's all good. But you have to be persistent.
Excellent. Well, you know what? It all pays off because, I see your growth. I see your success here.
Thank you.
And I really appreciate your taking the time to help out other suppliers.
Pleasure.
All right.
Thanks, Sean. Have a good one.